What's up, everybody? So this will be part 2 for today, and we are looking at Theta. And Theta is also looking really good. I like this type of consolidation here. If you look at Bitcoin back in the day, you also had similar consolidation. You pump up and you kind of consolidate a little bit and then continue. So as we zoom in here, you could see something very similar, right? You kind of have that big pump, consolidating, right? So another thing that this could be is maybe some type of flat where we get some kind of like a three-wave move down, even coming as far as back testing back over here and then continuing higher, right? So when we zoom out, this is the structure we've been looking at here for quite a while. So we have a three-wave move to the downside, and we have sort of this three-wave move up, very complex, and then we have three down, and now hopefully we could get five up. So three up, three down, five up. So 3-3-5. A 3-3-5 is an ABC. So, but that ABC can turn into something much bigger, like a 4 and a 5, which will be an impulse. And that's what we want, right? So if we look at this even further zoomed out, it's also looking really good. You got like this sort of this cup and handle thing going on here, or this inverse head and shoulder. So to me, it's currently on the buy side of the curve, right? You got your sell side of the curve. You got your base, and then you got your sort of your buy side of the curve, right? And once you get back to this area, these are the key Fibonacci levels we got to break through. And we see XRP, we see a lot of things taken off, so I don't think, I mean, there's no question in my mind that, others can do the same thing as well. And so that's kind of what we're waiting for. So I think we're getting up. February is going to be the most bullish month in crypto, right? It just is. So, but yeah, you could see just recently we broke above this the downward resistance line, and we're just kind of hovering here. So what would make more sense now is to just basically break that line there, and that's between 260 and 280. So that's the big area for Theta. I'm watching 260, 280. If we could break that, then we're looking at $3 plus soon. So are we going to get a pullback before then? Again, this could be a flat in here. We could kind of flag out, which would actually be a good thing, not a bad thing. It would actually be really good. So if we can just kind of take the low here and then kind of go sideways a little bit and then bust out, yeah, that would be a nice looking, beautiful structure, a flag, right? Similar to how this flagged out, right? Broke to the downside, flag out, break to the upside. Now, it doesn't have to, because the way it's correcting, it could be like, like that example I just shared with Bitcoin, where we just kind of have these running flats and we just keep pushing higher. So just going to have to wait and see. But other than that, I mean, everything is beautiful. Monthly candle ends in 14 days, the biggest goal we can do. So I'm going to set a goal for us, for the Theta community. In 14 days, basically by the end of the month, I want to see the monthly candle close above 308. If we can close above 308, then it'll be the highest monthly close that we've seen in a long time, years, right? Going all the way back to March 2022. So this is what we want to see, right? Breaking above that. So if we could get that, then it's going to put things in a much quicker motion. So we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. I talked about Monero in the last video. Definitely check that out. Let's take a look at ADA. Oh, look at ADA, guys. It looks pretty good. This is the 4-day chart, though. We're coming right here at this. We got a nice cup in here, right? We got a nice higher low, impulse, wick, reaction right to the top. Let's look a little bit closer. It kind of might need a pullback soon. Looks a little bit wonky. Just with that, right there. I'm just not sure what that is. Relative to what, this was, right? But I can clearly see, you got a shoulder, you got a head, you got a shoulder here. So again, if we flagged out in here, that would be a good thing, right? And you get a little bit of a cup, you get a little bit of a handle, and then you break out. Could we just break out now? Yeah, we could, but I'm not buying anything as if we were going to do that. My approach is to kind of just wait and see. So that's pretty much it for ADA. Now, if we zoom out, what is it doing here? Well, I think it's in a big fat W pattern. And if you look at, for example, let's take a look at total 3. Okay, so if you look at total 3, you can see a really good example here. And there we go. So it's essentially what I think is happening here, right? Which is a big rise, a big dump. Big rise, a big dump. And then you have this W pattern, right? Looks exactly like this W pattern. So that's also exactly what happened over here. You had a W pattern. Boom. See that? So same thing here, same thing here. So if I had to imagine, we're probably somewhere right in here, guys. Okay, so that is so exciting because guess what? We have so much more to go. Look at this big pump that's destined to happen, hopefully, right? Where did we ultimately go? We went approximately, it was almost to the, we'll say the 3.272. Okay, so if I do the same thing with ADA and we say, okay, it's going to go to the 3.272 based off similar W structure, similar, same retrace levels, that's going to put you guys at $9, almost $10, right? So, what's the price at? ADA is only at $1.15. Okay. ADA went higher than XRP did last cycle. It went up to 3 something. XRP is now more than ADA has ever been. And ADA actually could have maybe even a bigger percentage increase than XRP will. Probably not before XRP pumped, but now since XRP has already pumped, I'm talking about, right now, we could see ADA, for example, if ADA goes up and hits a 4.236, that's about an, 7, 8, 9, 10x. you know, if XRP hits $8, $9, $10, you're only looking at like a 2 to 3x. So, yeah, ADA is looking great, amazing. Theta Fuel is still chugging along, still not really doing anything exciting, but trust me, I believe it will come very soon. You know, all of this stuff right in here is what you want to see. Okay. Just like what we saw with back over here, you can kind of see it. You know, when you go sideways, that's what you want to see. So, yeah, we're somewhere in here, right? You kind of had a breakout, a back test, and it just takes time, and it eventually, it should get going very soon. So just be patient with Theta Fuel. Avax. You know, it's basically going to be the same as everything else, really. Avax, look at that thing. You got a pretty gnarly cup and handle there. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got a wave 1. You come back down, you got a wave 2, right? And then you have another 1, 2 here of the third, and now this could be the third. So 1, 2, let's go. How high can AVAX go? I think we can hit the 4.236. I don't see no reason why we can't. That comes in at like almost $600 though. That's a pretty big fat distance away, but you know, it's only had a wave 1, right? So wave 1 is typically the smallest wave. Maybe not so much in percentage terms for crypto, right? But yeah, if this is wave 1 and this is wave 2, wave 3 should be amazing, right? So just look at Dogecoin's wave 3. That thing was massive. So anyways, that's pretty much it for AVAX. But I wouldn't shoot for the moon. I would shoot conservatively, and the best way to do that is right at the 1618. The 1618 is your best friend as far as targets go. That's going to be kind of that quick shot, you know, take profit sort of area. So, AVAX, beautiful. Axelar, remember the W pattern that we just looked at? Look at this. Doesn't that look like what we could be, you know, transpiring soon? I think so. Bitcoin. I think we looked at Bitcoin in the last video, but essentially it looks great. Remember, we were looking at Bitcoin from a fractal perspective, right? Using Matic right here. So you can see the chart right there. So there you go. You break out, and then it's done, right? So what we need to do here is, number one, we cannot have Bitcoin go so fast. I know everyone wants it to go quick. For me, the best thing to do is for Bitcoin to pull back and then for Bitcoin to go sideways. This is going to buy us time. That's what we need. We need time, okay? And then once we break out, right, we want to go up methodically. And then we kind of want to stay up here for a while because this is going to buy us more time for the altcoins to continue roaring and ripping and whatever. if they want to have a chance to break above their all-time high. Theta's all-time high is what, $15? So it's still got a long ways to go. So we need as much time as possible. Otherwise, it's probably going to go into some type of reaccumulation structure. Algorand is looking pretty decent as well. I mean, I would imagine you would get some kind of pullback here. This looks like a spot where people should be taking some profits in their trades or whatever. Am I taking profits? Not. I mean, no. When you get to the 618, you want to take a little bit off, right? Because you just don't know. But I expect this range. I expect this to get broken. But the real take profit would be around 81 cents or so for the short term. And the long term, I mean, you're looking at, I mean, it could be insane. You know, it could be somewhere around 10 bucks, and we're only at 50 cents. So Algorand could be a big success. We just don't know, right? You got a big wave 1, a wave 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. It looks like we're going to go into a 5th here. So you could see the wave structure. It looks pretty good. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1. Come back. That's a 2. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 5. And then we can flag out for a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then somewhere in there we'll finish up. So I'd say we're about, 30, 40% way there according to this chart. I mean, we're kind of like, if you take this bottom piece and you take the top piece, we're kind of right in the middle. So I would imagine we would get back up to here soon. Aave looks really good. See, Aave already flagged out. Aave has been correcting. Well, maybe not, because I was looking at the wrong time frame. Wait. Yeah, I was looking at the wrong time frame. But anyways, you could see we have a 3-wave pullback here. It looks fantastic. And we have this pump, maybe get a little bit of a pullback and then a continuation. Polygon, basically the same thing. It's just hanging out. Probably need a little bit of a pullback and then a break. Matic, Filecoin, it's pumping for sure. Yeah, it looks great. I don't know. This wave's going to end. The question is, when's it going to end? Well, we got to have 5 waves. Do we have 5 waves? Well, I don't know, because it's very hard to count, right? You got 1, 2, you could say 3, 4, maybe this is 5. It's kind of challenging, right, to count these waves. Whereas this one was a little bit more easy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. I'm assuming if it's challenging to read it, then it's probably not finished. And if it's not finished, then it's probably in the 3rd wave. 1, 2. So we're probably in wave 3 here. Then we get 4, 5. But you could get miniature pullbacks along the way. So kind of a hold on, a hodl situation. See, near is popping the top here. You see how we went sideways? And now we popped up. So that's good. That's what we want to see. Nereo. I mean, this one could be this one could be pretty significant too. I'm not sure. Kind of got that falling wedge look to it. Usually they get back up to here somehow. I'm the dog, the big bag dog, the bounty hunter. Remember that song? Every time I look at dog, I always remember that bounty hunter song. Ozzy Osbourne. Yeah, same thing. We got a cool looking, kind of like a falling wedge look, if you will. So I'd kind of want to see it kind of buck up against this resistance line, kind of flag out a little bit, maybe form a little bit of a base and then break it. That's what I want to see. Could it just shoot up like this? Of course. Of course. Dog looks to me like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you have A, B, and C. Or WXY. So you have a wave 1, and there's your wave 2. And this could be the start of a massive wave 3. I don't know. We'll see. I think so. Dot also looks great. Same thing as Matic, same thing as Filecoin, same thing as pretty much a lot of them. Hbar, definitely different. Definitely looking really interesting as well. You got 3 down, you got 3 up, and you got 3 back down. We nailed this. This was a perfect correction. We nailed it perfectly. Again, 3 down, 3 up, 3 back down. Now you're going. So 3, 3, 3. There's your 3-wave pullback. Here's your wave 1. Where's your wave 2? Maybe we need to pull back and then get that wave 3. We'll find out soon enough. Ethereum. Whoa. Ethereum's waking up a little bit today. Wow, look at that 2-hour candle. Jeez. You finally decided to wake up. You little brat. You've been sleeping all day. When I mean all day, I mean all year. Ah, man. It's still got a long ways to go. It still looks kind of like it needs to wake up. And I mean it does look really good on the zoomed out approach, because you got that 3-wave move, you got this impulse here, so we could get going soon. Real soon. So keep an eye out for that. CRV. Look at CRV waking up, coming to the party. You don't have to own every single coin. Right now, I don't own CRV. I don't even hold it. But that doesn't mean I can't make money on other ones, right? So you don't have to hold every single coin. Would I have liked to have bought CRV down here? Yeah, but you can't buy every single coin when we were down here. So I'm just kind of have to deal with it. But you could see beautiful, beautiful structure. Impulse, 3 down, 3 up, 3 down, right? You got 3, 3, 3. It's perfect. And then here we go. See, if you learn Elliott Wave, you could literally retire yourself very soon. So, XLM looks pretty dang good too. Yeah, I like XLM right now. I think this is a nice 3-way pullback here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got a little bit of a 3-way pullback, a little bit of a double bottom here. I can see it coming back and taking the top. So could also be a 1, 2, 1, 2, and then we have 1, 2, kind of like a 5, and then a flat here. 1, 2, and then a flat, and then a pop. So, or what we're gonna see is maybe this come back down, and then it kind of builds more of a base in here, which is fine too. So Jupiter, inverse head and shoulders all day. Looks great. Q and T. You got this flat there for Q and T. Maybe you need to flag out a little bit and then continue. ICP looks pretty good. So I think there was a request here for Sologenic. I remember this coin because I remember everyone talking about the airdrop for the XRP community. I don't know if I don't think I participated in it, but I did get the flare one. So let's take a look here. Sologenic. There we go. All right, let's zoom out. Well, I mean, it looks bullish. There's not a lot of price history here. So I'm assuming that this is the lead-in for the drop. And then I think you got a flush. I'm not sure where the airdrop occurred, but it kind of looks like a creek in here. And then there's your spring. There's your upthrust. Your reaction, or if you will. Yeah, it looks good. I think, man, I wish Flare can do that. It's kind of tough. Let's pull the fib levels here. There's not too much to go off of, but yeah, I mean, we're still a ways away. I mean, this thing's at 60 cents. The all-time high is sitting there at like $6. I don't know how much volume or liquidity or anything, because when you have airdrops, the supply, the circulating supply, all that stuff, the liquidity, the volume, it's different, based off where it was then, based off where it is now. So it's kind of hard to measure things like that. But, I would assume we would get back up to this level right, around that $2 area. So that's kind of the minimum target I'm looking for, is $2, but it could go all the way up, maybe even higher to $5 or $6, somewhere in this zone. And then if we can get through that, then we're looking at expansion, and then we can get into crazy numbers, right? I mean, the 4.236 sitting at $28, and this thing's only 60 cents. So that would be insanity if it hit that number. I don't know if it's possible. I mean, certainly anything's possible, but I'm not sure. Well, we're going to have to follow the smaller time frames and get a better idea here. Yeah, I wouldn't buy it right now. This looks a little bearish to me. It seems like it's corrective. Like, look at the way that went up. Look at the way this went up. Now, it could be good because it's bottlenecking. And sometimes when that happens, you get these big spikes. I do really like it, though, because we did break above this horizontal resistance. And we do have a massive cup and handle here. You have an inverse head and shoulders right here. You broke out, and now we're back testing. So if we can hold that line, it's going to look pretty good. So a short-term target for Sologenic would be, obviously we got to get through the fib levels between 70 and $1, but it'd be $1.30. So I think $1.30 for Sologenic is not out of the question, probably within the next month. So I think that's pretty good. Now, how do we get there? Well, I want to see how we react in here. So we could see kind of like a flat, right? Like a boom, 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 something like this. Like a running flat, right? Low, higher, low, higher, low, So that's all. That's all I want to see. Yeah, it's very challenging wave structure. It's very wavy. I mean, very just, you could see the way it moves. It's pretty challenging to read. So that's why you got to zoom out. We looked at SHIB in the last one. Well, let's look at XRP again. So XRP also looking really good. Again, I think this is a fractal here, right? You got your triangle, bottom, right? A, B, C. Okay, now remember that. Remember that. Okay, now look at this. Back over here. Same exact thing that happened here. You got your triangle, your bottom, right? Same thing. And then also over here, you got one right over there. And then you had one over here as well. A double bottom here. So your triangle, right? So there's a couple examples. There's like 2 or 3. Here's another one over here. You know, kind of that same type of look. So XRP loves to do these triangles, right? And then you even had one here on a bigger time frame. Boom, boom, right? I mean, so they're all over the place. They're literally all over the place. So there you go. That's XRP. Yeah, this thing's pumping here. So, yeah, I think, and then here's your fractal. Here we go. So, yeah, I think this is going to break out. I think we can hit $4. Well, let's see here. Let me pull up this, and I'll tell you. Well, maybe, okay, so 350. I think we can hit 350. Maybe even tomorrow. I mean, it's possible. Or next week. I hate doing that because I just don't know. But I would just be taking it. Time is the hardest thing to know. It is very hard to know. I could do time analysis, but it just takes time. So, for example, like what I can do is I can measure the length of this correction to get us to this point. And then what I can do is take that same calculation and measure this, how the distance of between this, you know, these two double bottoms, and then I can kind of get an idea, right? So for example, I'm not going to really do this, but this took approximately 9 days. Okay. So it took 9 days, and 9 days equals, how many days did it take to get there? 27 days. Okay. So that's your ratio, 9/27. So if it took us, I mean, that's not even, it's 18 hours. How do you even configure that? So if it's 18, so it's way less than 9 days. We'll say 1 day, right? So pretty much, what is it, like 1/9 of the, you know, like a fraction? Or you can even look at this one over here. Yeah, but look how long it took to consolidate in there. So that's always the tough spot. Because right now we haven't consolidated yet. See, I don't know if this is going to do this and then break out, or if it's going to do this and then do something like that. So that's kind of where I'm like, well, you know, there's 2 different ways it can happen. So basically, I would say probably within the next several days, we should see something happen here. So, like look at CFX, for example. It had that same kind of setup. You had that double bottom, boom, beautiful. Monero's coming down. You're getting a pullback. It's probably because I tweeted it out. Everybody. No, but we need pullbacks, right? Anytime you break a key area, I mean, this is the highest price in Monero. Let's see how long it's been since we've been to that price. You know, it's testing the waters, testing the waters, testing the waters. If we go to the 2-day chart, this is the highest price of Monero not seen since spring of 22. So 3, 4, 5. So almost 3 years now. This is the highest price in 3 years for Monero. That's pretty incredible. And plus, look at all the resistance you have in here. A lot of resistance. So it's gotta push through that, right? So it could take some time in here, but eventually, you know, we'll bust through it, and then after that we can start accelerating. So eyes on Bitcoin dominance. We want that sucker to go down, but it could be a 3-way pullback. It could be a 3-way move. So A, B, and then we come down. Or A, this is B, and now we're starting to come down. Not sure which one's it going to be. Guys, Theta is looking pretty dang good too. And we already talked about Theta, but again, it's just we need to get through that. So I don't know. Do we got to pull back a little bit, then break out? Whatever the case may be, I think we're getting close. Now, the worst case scenario would be we have to pull all the way back to like 220, like all the way down here. Not that far away though. So hopefully not, but we'll see. Anyways, appreciate everybody for tuning in, and thank you for your support. And again, if you want to become a member, just click join where the subscribe button is, and you can get 2 member videos a month, and it's just a good way to support the channel, and it helps me out a lot making these videos. So I really appreciate it, and I hope that you get value from it, because that's the whole point, right? Is if you get value from it and it helps you in whatever way, then that's what matters, right? So yeah, let me know if it does, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Remember, nothing I say here is financial advice, so always be aware of risk and know that you're in a situation where you could lose your money. You know what I mean? So the best way to avoid that is to simply be smart. You know, don't be dumb, and don't use a lot of leverage. If you're trading, buy spot positions. And then if you want to learn how to trade, just the best way to do that is just to practice with a demo account. You know, load up $100 into an exchange and just trade 1 to 2% of that $100. And if you can grow it to $200, then that means you could take $100,000 and grow it to $200,000. So you want to prove it to yourself that you can do that. And the best way to do that is with small amounts of money or even a demo account. So anyways, I will catch you guys on the next one. Cheers.